Hello. The only way to know or to understand what a postgraduate degree entails is to do one, especially when pursuing a PhD degree. The only way to understand what it takes, the only way to know what it is getting to do one. Let me lay a foundation that your PhD degree is zero if you don't earn it. The world will score you, and even you yourself, you can score yourself by the time you get to the end of it. The only way you'll be proud of that degree is when it is truly earned, and it's only useful when you have worked for it. My objectives in this presentation is to sensitize you as a PhD student, as a postgraduate student, and provide you with the basic knowledge of what research entails. It's not meant to be a total kind of submission regarding a mantra that's going to give you that degree. It's perhaps to enlighten you on the basics of what research, data collection, data analysis, thesis preparation, presentation, and all that, what it's all about. And it will ultimately help you to understand what you need to expect in pursuing a PhD degree or a postgraduate degree. Let me quickly tell you the tale of scholarship. Let this circle, the circle in one, let that represent all of human knowledge. And let the dots that you are seeing in this other circle, let that be the foundation of knowledge at the elementary school, when your academic foundation is laid in the kindergarten, whether in the home school or in the primary school or in the preschool, all at that stage, a kind of foundation that's going to define your future career and your future endeavor and engagements is laid, is let that dot represent that. And on this other circle, let the boundary, that boundary of a green, that green boundary, let that addition, let it stand for the knowledge you acquire in the high school. You know a little bit more. At that level, you go into mathematics, physics, you go into social studies, you take business studies, you take computer, you take mathematics, geography, economics, physics, chemistry, agricultural science, and all the likes. You take all sorts of subjects. Why? Because at that point, you are just about to enter into an advanced stage of knowledge. And at the point you now get into the university, you begin to narrow down. And that's why at the time when you want to make a choice, you want to know whether you want to go into social sciences, you want to go into environmental design and management, or you want to go into medicine and health, or you want to go into engineering, or you want to go into social sciences or art and humanities or law. All of those subjects that you took while you are in the high school, it gives you a foundation to make that choice, or to make the choice that you want to pursue at the university level. So that's why at the bachelor's level, you want to say that you have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, you have a bachelor's degree in law, or you have a bachelor's degree in economics, or a bachelor's degree in foreign languages, or maybe a bachelor's degree in nursing. That's why At that time, you are specialized, whether in the physical sciences, or in the biological sciences, or in the social sciences, or in art and humanities. And at the point when you have finished that, you have fulfilled some basic conditions in the field of knowledge generally, because at that point your bachelor's degree places you on a platform wherein you can interact with anyone and everyone from different backgrounds from anywhere in the world. It gives you the basics of what's been in the category of people who are learned, who are well-read, who have acquired university education, who have acquired a university degree. It places you in that order. And after that, it takes a bit more than that to say, I want to go for higher studies. I want to go for a master's degree. That is just a step that initiates a process that launches you into the deep of that specialty, wherein you want to go for a higher degree. So it's not just enough to say, I want to pursue a master's. It's not just enough that I want to go for a postgraduate studies. You really need to sit down to know that you are launching into the deep of the ocean of knowledge in that specialty. And research or higher degree is also an avenue that launches you into the realm of research, which will require you to read research papers extensively. You need to do a lot of review of what people have done in that field, what people have researched in that, the extent of research in that subject area. Because at the end of the day, we want to check how you have advanced the frontiers of knowledge. And at that point, you are just at the threshold of what we say, or what we call scholarship. That's at the point when we know that you are just reaching the ultimate height in the pursuit of scholarship. And in your search of literature, in your search and scrutiny of works that have been done in that line of research in the past, you will be researching and be reviewing and be reading and be looking for information on that field, such that you begin to hit a boundary. That boundary that you are driving at is to look for a loophole, to look for a lacuna, a kind of research gap, that you want to catch on. And on that point, you want to push the frontiers of knowledge. And that happens when you reach the boundary of that circle. And at that boundary, now you go back into the drawing board and you do more literature search. You do more study. You go back into your knowledge of theoretical background. You go back into the basics and marry that with your interest in advancing the frontiers of knowledge, and you begin to push at that boundary until one day that boundary gives way. And at that point, it will be recorded against your name that you have made a significant contribution to knowledge. And that is why in a postgraduate degree, we're very interested in what contribution you have made to knowledge, how you have advanced the frontiers of knowledge in that specialty, in that area of research. And that equates to your degree anyway, whether it's a master's or whether it's a Ph.D. Now, I want to ask a question. I found that a lot of people are going into Ph.D. degrees, especially these days. Maybe in the part of the world that I come from, I see a lot of young people who want to go for higher studies. You want to pursue higher degrees, and you begin to wonder whether that actually is the direction for them to go. You see, A lot of reasons push people into pursuing higher degrees. One of them is personal motivation. You must check whether you are personally motivated to pursue a higher degree. Another thing is intellectual curiosity. We have individuals who are just intellectually curious. They just want to know new things. They just want to acquire new knowledge. They just want to dig deeper. They just want to embark on scholarly adventures. And for some people, higher degree could mean more jobs, so more pay. It could mean higher money. It could be earning more than they've had. Or it could also be a step towards getting a more fulfilling or a more satisfying job. And for some others, it's out of necessity. You just need something to keep busy. And that's the category that has motivated me to put this presentation together. So joblessness or inability to find something very meaningful and engaging to do, it should not be the reason that is pushing someone to pursue a Ph.D. degree, especially. So I want to ask a question. Is Ph.D. degree or a postgraduate degree, is it for everybody, as we see in recent times? But that's not, the answer to that is not for today. Whatever your reasons, I want you to consider this point. Before you go for a higher degree, especially a PhD degree, do I really want a degree? You need to ask yourself, do you like research? You don't register because you just feel that's the only way to go. Because at a point you're going to get frustrated in it. You've got to start with the end point in mind. That's why in embarking on such a journey, you need to waste no time from the start. Never think there is a time. For most programs, or for most specialty, a PhD degree will take you about 3 years, or maybe 5 years, different depending on what you're focusing on and the institution wherein you are taking that program up, and maybe the extent of work that you have to do, and the result that you intend to achieve. Or usually between 3 and 5 years. Whatever your time is, start as you mean to go. Establish a very strict work schedule and routine, which you have to stick to. A good doctoral student must set timelines, because time has a habit of disappearing so fast. You need to sit down to choose a line of interest, a topic, or a subject that you are passionate about. It doesn't necessarily have to be an area where you are a genius. You don't have to be a genius. That's it. It's just about the passion with which you are commencing that pursuit. There's more to that. And what people usually don't understand in higher studies, in higher degree, especially a PhD, is that there's a lot of difference between you having a supervisor and being supervised. You need to understand and study how to get the most out of your supervisor. It's not the same thing. You have a supervisor or getting supervised. The two are very different. You must understand how he works and what is his interest, or what are his interests, so that you can get the maximum benefit from his mentorship or from his guidance as a doctoral student. You need to be responsible for your work. You take responsibility. It's not your supervisors. You are both in it. You are both embarking on that scholarly adventure. But if you need a degree, then you go to work for it. Don't be busy doing nothing. I found out that a number of PhD or a number of doctoral students just begin to count the time. You count time and you are not weighing the work. There should be a metric that should correlate to the time that you are spending on that program. Plan out your time wisely. Time to go to the laboratory, the time to collect your data, the time to be on field survey, the time to be in the lab, the time to spend on the internet, the time for literature review, for your experiment, for taking your data, for analysis. You plan out everything and be active all the way. Don't be passive or reactive. Run from excuses. Excuses have a way of just littering your mind all the time. You can always excuse yourself, but you need to be proactive. One of the critical spots that is very, very fundamental is the ability to choose the right research topic, the right research title. You need to identify a problem. What is the problem? It doesn't matter whether you're in the arts, whether you're in the sciences, or you're in the humanities, or engineering, or medical. It's about you identifying a problem and you've been determined to solve it. Know the most important questions about the problem. The questions that you need to ask, we call them research questions. What are those questions? And that will help you to put together, to articulate your objective. And by the time you are able to articulate your objectives, then it's very easy to develop a method, to match out methods for achieving those objectives. And by the time you are getting into the collection of data or the results that you are getting from the experimenter, from the field survey, or from whatever investigation you're embarking on, you are marrying it or tracing it back to your objectives, such that when you are discussing the result, you are discussing that finding, you are communicating the findings that you got from your procedures. It's going to translate to something that is going to have a tangible implication on livelihood or on that specialty, or translate into practical solutions to solving specific problems. And in pulling up your conclusions, then it will be punchy. And at that point, you can also write a very good contribution to knowledge. You see, one very important thing that you have to note as a doctoral student or as a postgraduate student is that you need to read as the work goes. Build general knowledge in that subject area. Check what has been done. Ask what remains to be done until you identify where you can fit in. So at that point, you are very good to go. You think how you will achieve what you have been able to identify. Another thing is for you to identify or to check if there are facilities. Many doctoral students, many postgraduate students, they don't check the achievability of what they want to investigate. You need to check, you need to find out that their facilities or their equipments for specific investigations, or are there avenues for me to be able to carry out and execute this intention that I have in mind. And at that point, you can develop everything into a written document, which you may refer to as your proposal. Yeah. So, and with that, it's like having a roadmap, having an action plan, a plan of action towards implementing that area of scholarly interest. And with your proposal, it's like you have a manual, you have a roadmap for achieving that objectives. If you execute it properly, a good proposal, it grants you a lot of immunity against remarks like, I thought you said you are going to do X, or I expect you to have considered Y before going this far. So it's very important for you to put up a very strong and a very good proposal. And when you are presenting your proposal, you don't avoid or skip oral presentation at different stages of the work. It's such that it exposes you, the training is such that it exposes you to everything that will place you at the center stage of scholarship as you begin to advance in your career development. So attend all oral presentations, take advantage of all seminars, learn to communicate what you intend to do or what you are doing or what you have done in a very effective and a very concise manner. Let people criticize you. It's the reason why many people run away from scholarship. You don't want to be criticized. You don't want somebody to identify your pitfalls. You don't want somebody to tell you it is wrong here. You don't like somebody to point out to you that, whereas that is the core, that is the deep side of scholarship. Your mind has to be challenged. Your ingenuity has to be challenged. It should only enable you to do more, to go deeper, not to discourage you. It should provoke you that, oh, with all the efforts that I've put in, it means it's still not enough. Then you want to dig deeper. That is the thing. It's not all time that you will be clapped for, or you want a supervisor that will hail you at everything. Then he will not be the best to push you into scholarship. And as you are criticized, make corrections where needful at every point. And you must speak out. What do I say? Do you hear that? Speak out. Take suggestions from different experts, from your colleagues, from your superior, from your seniors, even from your juniors. Many times I finish my write-ups, I put up my ideas, I give it to my student. You read and you criticize. I will tell them not to tell me what is good. Don't tell me the sweet things. Tell me what is wrong. Don't say it is very fine. I want to hear what is wrong about this. So that is, it is things, there are things, those are the things that is going to provoke excellence and make what you are doing to be the best. So get to know experts or people that are very knowledgeable in that area of interest, in that specialty. They are the likely people to consult when you are going through challenges along the line. So when you're familiar with them, it can help you to a very large extent. Now, planning your survey, your field survey, or your experiment, you need to have a layout, a design. Possibly you need to talk to a statistician if you're in the sciences, or social sciences, or engineering. You need to talk to somebody who's going to help you in your statistics and the model, or maybe models from the beginning, if that's going to be involved. You need to study existing methods and choose the ones that are adaptable to your study. So at times you may also have to improvise. You may have to adapt methods that was used in executing a particular objectives in a study to yours. That is the way to go. And another thing is for you to plan your days ahead. Plan your days ahead, rather. You need to allow them to carefully dovetail into your experiment, the result, and your observation. Keep a very good laboratory book. Many students who are in sciences and arts at higher degrees don't have organized record of daily activities. Don't be flimsy with your data. Your data can be stolen. Your data can be that's the origin of plagiarism. So don't be flimsy with it. Protect your data. It is your intellectual property, and by the time you have collected your data, you can design a good, if you have a very well designed experiment, it will be very easy for you to analyze and also interpret the data. And at that point, you get back to your statistician or a modeling expert and get to understand the theoretical background of the data that you have collected. This is very disastrous to just collect data without having an understanding of what the data translates to. And at the point of discussing your results, that's the deepest side of scholarship in doctoral research. It shouldn't just be a catalog of your data, graphs, and tables. At doctoral level, we want to understand what those figures mean. Otherwise, they just appear like jargons to your readers out there. What do they mean? You got 23 watts. What unit? What does it mean? If it's you have quantified some parameters, what does it translate to? State the practical implication. In what ways will that advance knowledge, or in what way will it advance the frontiers of knowledge in that area? So very, very important for you to have a well-written discussion of result, because that is where the scholarship that will give you the degree, that's where it hangs. That's where it hangs. So at this point, you are getting ready for your oral examination. If you have written a very good thesis, there are instances where you are pushed to also develop manuscripts to get them published in very reputable outlets. You need to get guided by your mentor, by your guide, or by your supervisor. You need to, it's an opportunity to communicate the findings of your research, of what you have spent so much time in pursuing as a passion, to a group of scholars, a group of researchers, of scientists and experts in that specialty. Oftentimes, decisions have been taken whether you pass or fail before you write the exam. That's the truth. As you keep doing the work, your supervisor, your guide is taking his decision, is making up his mind about whether you have passed or whether you have failed. And usually is your professor that will simultaneously be maybe your biggest ally, and is also perhaps your worst enemy, because it's the first to tell you to do more work or to say what you have done is not satisfactory. And on the team, you also have a group of examiners who are from within and outside that specialty. You have to educate them. You have to convince them that you did the work. Know what you did, and tell them what it means. You see, it's never enough to just go and speak there. You go with the mindset that you are going there to lecture them. So in your presentation, in your oral defense, go there with the mindset that you are going there to lecture them, to tell them, to teach them what they don't know. If you assume that because they are your professors, they are your senior scientists, they know everything, then you are not going to get the best results as a performance in that oral presentation. Now, it's very important to hit these points. There are moments of despair and moments of discouragement when it becomes very difficult for you to proceed, or you begin to question yourself, will I ever finish this work? Will I ever pass through this stage? That's why being brilliant or clever is never sufficient to pursue scholarship. It is good to be brilliant. It is good to be smart. Hard work, diligence, and tenacity is what you need, or are what you need in pursuing higher degree. That's why so many people you consider very stupid or average, they make it across this finishing line, because they are tenacious, because they are diligent, because they work very hard. As you count the years, you need to quantify the work. Take an inventory of what you have done, what you have achieved, and sooner than you know, the years will begin to go by. You need to develop a very positive attitude. Be on the bright side of life all the time. Never say, this work will kill me. Don't say this work is too much. Don't ask, I don't know whether I can do it. Don't doubt yourself. I don't know whether I'll be able to do it. I don't like my supervisor. I don't like my laboratory. Those are questions that must not arise in the journey towards scholarship. Take note of these ones. There's no special time to write when you are engaged in higher degrees. It starts as you begin to do the work, and it will never end until you finish. It also continues after you have finished, because you need to publish. So a postgraduate degree, especially a Ph.D., I'm laying more emphasis on the doctorate degree, is learning intensive, training extensive. I hope you hear that. It's learning intensive and it's training extensive. You have to display a lot of resilience, a lot of initiative, a lot of ingenuity. Plan to organize. Learn to organize. Learn to plan. Prioritize. Fragmentize the work in such a way that you'll be able to achieve them in chunks and measurable. That you begin to see the outcomes in quantifiable terms, then enjoy the work while it lasts, so that you won't wear yourself out so fast. Have fun. You heard that? Have fun. Recognize the dull and exciting moments of your research and marry them together. Earning a PhD degree can be so tasky. Don't let the work finish you before you finish the work. Take care of your physical and mental health. Eat right. Exercise regularly. Have fun. Did you hear that? Spare time to enjoy. And at the end of the day, you love what you're going to see. And after you have finished the degree, you gain mastery over the W's of research and scholarship. You know the W's of research and scholarship? Who, what, where, when, which. We always ask questions. Say how. Some of us, we say, who are you? When we got there, we say, where? We say, by the time we saw him, when? So we want to ask questions. You get more critical at that point because you now can see things very differently. Your analysis and your perspectives, your opinions, they get deeper. You are respected for your mastery in that particular specialty. Learn to write. Like I said, you need to cultivate writing as an habit. Usually it's the most demanding part of PhD or the most demanding part of higher degrees. Many students do get stuck or experience delay at the point of writing. That's where they halt. So you need to write. Please write. Many people can do the experiment, you can cross the proposal, but when it is time to put and you crystallize your ideas and your thoughts and also pull together your data and translate them into scholarly sense, to make scholarly sense, you will find out that it becomes very difficult. Never underestimate how long it's going to take you to write up. Start early. It gets difficult when you allow your data to get complicated. The result of your field survey, they begin to mount or begin to pile up, and you discover that you can't make anything out of it at the end of the day. Note this: your time projection for write-up is close to the reality if you start early enough. You can meet up your time projection. And oftentimes, if you are projecting or you are delaying your write-up and you say it's going to take me 3 months to complete this write-up if I just finish this aspect of the work, you are possibly going to spend 3 times that time that you have projected. That's why starting early is always very important. Make it a very strict ritual to summarize your findings and accomplishments from the start as you go. Create a data note. Let's always try to jot your findings. Show the dates. Let it show. Impute some data, some relevant images or references, so that when you are putting your thoughts together in the write-up, it makes a lot of things very easier. Nothing is more disastrous if you lose your data in research. You lose your data, it becomes very serious. So you need to organize and keep those data from the beginning. As you write, track your progress, crystallize your thoughts with references. You may forget what you were thinking 2 weeks ago if you don't let it crystallize and well noted down. When you are stuck, seek help. Postgraduate degrees brings you into contact with a lot of people. Interact with all of them. Your supervisor has no recipe for your work or for your degree. It's not as if he has a mantra that will deliver that degree into your hand. So how you work around your challenges determine how it goes and how fast it's going to be. Don't do too many important things alongside a PG work. It delays, it drags, it draws. At some point, finishing your PhD or your higher degree should outweigh every other thing that you may have to tackle at that moment. If you don't get to that point, then it drags. Now, as I conclude, I find out that there are a lot of people, a lot of individuals out there undertaking higher degrees out there in the world who are combining higher studies with a lot of other things. Some people combines a PhD degree with family life. You're building a family, you're also pursuing a PhD degree. Maybe you are a mother, you are working, you are nursing babies, and you have to travel over long distance to meet your family, and you have a lot of domestic chores, and you are pursuing higher degrees. A bright student may have trouble finishing a degree because he or she is successful in another area of life. Maybe a successful family, maybe a successful job, maybe is a rich person making money from other avenues, yet interested in a higher degree. You have to sacrifice one for the other. While you can marry everything simultaneously and with good balance and still get your end result, it's very important to understand the power of priority. I don't know how this have affected you or how this positively impacts your interest in that degree that you're pursuing, but I hope it helps. If you find it useful, then please recommend or share this YouTube channel to your colleagues. Share it to your friends and let them also get motivated. Thank you. You're welcome.